rainy season 2025 is finally underway. After about we've been rained out for about 3 weeks, and I've been itching to start cutting hay. As odd as that is to say, it's finally dried up enough where I can start laying it down. For those that don't know, here in Oklahoma we had about the wettest April we've ever had, I think. I know Oklahoma City said it was the wettest April in history. And I think we probably had 7 or 8 inches at my house in April. Well, really in a couple of weeks. And it just felt like it was never going to quit raining. So we're finally rolling. I pulled into the first field this morning. Well, about lunch, I guess. I wanted to come start yesterday, but I came and looked at it, and it was still just a little bit wet, we thought. So I decided to wait until today, and I gave it till about lunchtime today before I came over here and started. But it's dry enough, and it ain't the greatest, but it's something. I've got lots of acres to do in a short amount of time. Haven't been to work at the fire department. As you can tell, got my little 14-year-old beard going. I've been off for a couple weeks and just been itching to go. Been getting antsy, probably for no reason, but so it's a good feeling to finally pull in and turn the swather on and get seeing some windrows actually. It's hit and miss. In some spots it's good, and some spots it's so thin that my swather won't hardly cut it. Seems completely backwards from, you would think if it was too thick it wouldn't cut it as good, but these disc mowers, it seems like the more hay you can feed through it, the better it cuts. So I don't know really why that is. But some spots it's doing a really good job. Some spots it ain't cutting it. It's kind of bothering me. It's leaving strips, but I've got out 10 times and made sure my blades were sharp. And I turned them over a couple of them, which they're double-sided, so you wear down one side, and then when it starts skipping and not cutting as good, you can flip them over and get more out of it. So I did that on some of them, and it's a brand new edge. On the side I flipped to, it's still flagging it, leaving streaks. So I've slowed down to about 8.5 miles an hour, and that seems to be helping. And I tilted my header down. You can tilt it. I usually keep it tilted all the way up, so if you go over a rock, it'll just go over it, instead of if you have your blades tilted down, your blade will hit it and ruin your blade. But I've tilted it down a little just to try to cut it better. I'm doing the best as it'll do. Like I said, in the really thick spots, or not even really thick, but in the better spots, it's cutting it just fine. If you're OCD like me, it looks terrible, but to somebody that just driving by, you probably won't even notice it. But I notice it, and I don't like it. The OK Farmer just rolled up. I hope she brought lunch. I'm pretty hungry. Just as I finish this field, I got a water in the fuel light again. This is the third time today. So made this take a lot longer. Every time you gotta kill it. Kill the swather, come over here and drain the water out of there. You gotta unscrew that deal. I guess you, hopefully today was get the kinks out of it day. I don't know if my fuel is like separated or if when I filled it up this morning, I got my diesel's got water in it, but there's also like algae in it, looks like. Ooh, you see that? And then it'll turn red. Oh, guess I better cut the fuel off. See, all that brown that came out at first was just nasty, like water, algae water. That's the third time I've had to do that today. Because when it does it, it goes into like a limp mode, and it'll only rev up to like 1800 RPMs. So you can still cut, it'll still spin your blades the same speed, but it's like no power. Drain it all out. And you see it's got like brown, nasty looking stuff in it. I don't know what this means. If it's my fuel tank or if it's the tank I filled up with. Yeah. It's like that's in my diesel. Yucky. That's yucky. You can tell I just recently had a kid that's starting to talk. Because I talk to grown adults like they're babies. Somebody will do something nasty and I'll go, ooh, shooey. Like they're 2. Ooh, shooey. That's yucky. Get out of there, boy. Baby, put it all on me. Put it all on me. Let me plug our sensor back in. I guess a good thing this is doing its job. Because if that water got in there, it would not be good. But that's why I'm scared it's going to. That's why I want to change this filter, both of them. Because this is supposed to get all the water and separate it from going into this filter, which then goes into your motor. So I hope none of it got through and it'll run till Monday. And if not, I'm going to thrash the swather and it's going to be broken and it's going to be thousands of dollars to fix it. But I think I'm going to run it anyway and just dump this every time it yells at me and hope my sensor keeps working. So far, it's told me, well, it's done it 3 times, and I guess it's done it every time. It's told me water and fuel, and I just pull out and shut it off and come out here and do this. So yeah, something's going on. I think I got algae in my tank, and I don't know how to get that out of there. We come in here. Let it yell at you. I'm also out of DEF. Diesel exhaust fluid, the biggest waste of money and the biggest outputter of carbon emissions. Juice. How is it that something designed to reduce emissions such as diesel exhaust fluid, if you count what it takes to produce it, all the machinery and blah, 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 trucks to drive it, cardboard boxes that it comes in, well, I stand corrected, a plastic jug inside of a cardboard box with a plastic straw that is inside of a plastic wrapper. That's how you get your DEF. You open the straw, throw that wrapper on the ground, you put the straw on there, first you peel off the little plastic seal, throw that on the ground, put your straw on there, dump it in, spill half of it on the ground, and if you ever seen it, what it does to the ground or the side of your vehicle, you'll know that it ain't good. It'll eat the paint off anything. Now when you're done with the plastic jug that's inside the cardboard box, you walk over to the dumpster and you throw it in the dumpster. And if you're a good Samaritan like me, you pick up the straw wrapper and the seal, you throw that in the dumpster, and then that goes to a landfill where it won't decompose for 4,700 years. But my emissions out of my diesel truck are just a little bit cleaner. But whatever. I'm all for, protecting the planet and blah, 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 but some of this stuff, you're not protecting the planet. You're protecting somebody's mailbox check that they're getting every month because they signed a bill and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into it. How the hell did I get off on this? But anyways, we got done with our first field of the year. We're gonna, I don't know what time it is. I don't know what time it is, but the sun is still high enough. I think I can move to the next field and maybe start on it. Man, look at those windrows. That's a beautiful sight there. Hay on the ground. And I figured out all you got to do to make it rain is to make a YouTube channel and tell everybody that it doesn't rain, and by God, it'll start raining. It's been raining for a month. I've had my YouTube channel for about a month. Crazy. Well, we moved to the next field. I kind of got a little busy moving it, opening the field up, making the first few laps around it, trying not to run over any fences, or this field's got some rocks out in it. So I was having to watch and make sure I don't run any rocks over. And then Robert came and got me and gave me a ride with my pickup. So I brought it down here, that way I can leave when I get done. So yeah, this is field number 2 for the day. It's another, it's about 80 acres or something. But it's pretty good. It's going to make quite a bit, it looks like. So I'm really trying not to run over a rock. I guess I should hold it with this hand, that way I can stop if I need to. But yep, so we're still plugging along. It's, I don't know what time it is, getting close to 9 o'clock probably. Kind of got a late start today, so I need to get some of this stuff done. I got a short window to get it all cut down and baled up for Mother Nature and my real job. I got to go back to there someday. So we'll plug along. I'm sure it'll get too humid at some point to where it starts not cutting it very good. We'll have to shut down for the evening, but that's all right too. We'll cut till then. The way my wheat got ready and the way it worked out this time is not very good either. I've got three fields to do on the highway here for 3 different people. So all 3 of them are at different stages right now. Like this field is ready. One field put heads on it about a week or 2 ago. And then this field, I'm literally right next door to this other field, and some of it's still heading out. So it's a ways from being ready. So instead of cutting all 3 of these that are right here together at the same time, I'm cutting this one, and I got to go 20 miles further west and cut some more that's ready right now also, and then get these other 2 fields here on the way back, or at least get one of them on the way going east, and then when I get all the way east, turn around and come back and get this field that's right next door to me that's still put heads on. So it's not ideal. It'd be awesome if I could get all 3 of them right now, but it's also kind of good too. It gives me a little cushion, instead of them all being ready all at once. At least I got some room some wiggle room, I guess. So, but it sure would be handy to knock out a few hundred acres in one swoop instead of having to come back for it. but we'll keep plugging along. My original plan with this field, I wasn't even going to cut it today. I had another field to do, and I was coming by, and I looked at it yesterday, and it was still a little muddy. So my plan was I was going to go on west and do all that up there, and then come back. And hopefully by the time I got back, this field and one of the other two would be ready, and I could do both of them at the same time. But I don't know. I was coming by, and I thought, man, I gotta see if it's close enough. I gotta get it while it's here, because the plant itself it's perfect, prime. I think it's as good as it's gonna get. It's just the ground. I'm out of depth. Ignore that. So I was just waiting on the ground, not the plant. The plant needs to be cut. It's, like I said, it's perfect right now. It's right where you want it to be. And so I pulled in here and looked at the ground, and it surprisingly had dried out quite a bit from yesterday, just 24 hours previous when I looked at it. So I called Robert and I said, change of plans. I'm not going west. I'm staying right here. I got to cut this while I'm literally driving by it on the highway. So I'm glad I did, because it's, like I said, it's going to be good hay, I think. But you never know, in a day or two it could start, the leaves start falling off of it and it not be as good. So I'm glad I decided to look at it while I was coming by. So it seems, I think it's going to make quite a bit too, which is also an added bonus. Which I guess for me, being a custom hay baler, I really shouldn't care about the quality of it. I should just care about the quantity. But you kind of need to have good quality so people will hire you back too. So I always try to give them the best quality that I can too. That way, hopefully next year they call you back. And even if their hay doesn't make very good this year, or any given year, always do them a good job and do it the best you can, because one of these years they're going to have a bumper crop, and they're going to call, if you do them a good job, they'll call you back to come do it too. So it pays off in the long run. So that's why I felt so bad about driving by this. I knew the quality was perfect right now. So, well, that's a wrap for today. I was plugging along there, it's after dark, and I remembered the landowner was here earlier, and he was driving around out in the field looking for, he told me there's a big rock out there somewhere that sounds like it could be a dream crusher. It could break some stuff, and he never found it earlier, and he said he's going to get his four-wheeler and come and find it in the morning. And it was still cutting good, but like, man, I feel like I'm getting pretty close to where he thought this rock was. And I hit one earlier that was about the size of a basketball, and I couldn't see it. The hay is good, honestly, and it's so thick I couldn't see that. I mean, it was literally the size of a basketball, and I didn't know I had hit it, but my header, one side of it went up real high, and I was on top of it. Luckily, it didn't go through it. But so I thought, man, I better stop at least until daylight tomorrow, where I can see the rock, or hopefully he goes out there and finds it and marks it for me so I can go around it. But so that's the first day of hay season in the books. I didn't get a whole lot accomplished. I only did probably 110 acres maybe, but honestly that's more than you can bale in a night most of the time, because here in Oklahoma you want it about 70% humidity when you bale, and we usually don't get that until the middle of the night, and sometimes you never get it. It never gets that high, but when it does get that high, A lot of times it doesn't stay that high long enough to get all your acres done. So usually about 80 acres is kind of like my, most of the time you could do that in a night. So sometimes when you do when you cut more than 80 acres in a day and you can't get it all baled up in one night, then you get behind a day. So all the hay you cut after, is now it's been sitting out a day longer. So you can get behind cutting so much, but like I said earlier, I've got a very short window, and the way the weather's been, you just gotta cut it and hope for the best. Hopefully we get some nights where it stays 70% all night long, and we can do, lots and lots of acres in one night and kind of stay caught up. And it ain't the worst thing in the world if you get behind a little bit and the hay lays out an extra couple of days, but I just don't want to be. It's easy to get to where you can have hay on the ground for 14 days instead of 5 or 7, and that's what I don't want to get to there, because that's too long. And sometimes you can't help it, it's just the way it shakes. But so that's day one. Tomorrow I've got to finish probably maybe 60 or something here, and then I've got a couple hundred out west, and we'll see how much of that we can get knocked down. And then I've got to go backtrack and come back to the east, and I've got hay to do in about probably a 30-mile span, 30 miles, and hay all in between. So I've got it scattered everywhere, so I've got to get to getting it knocked down. But we did pretty good today, considering we had to let it dry out till about lunch. So we'll be back on the saddle tomorrow. Hope we'll get a long full day tomorrow and see how much we can do, and I'll bring y'all along for that too. So see y'all then. Thank y'all for watching. I haven't even looked, but at one point I had like 1.6 thousand views on a video, which is kind of crazy. It just keeps getting views. I don't know why. I thought it was one of my worst videos, but my wife thinks it's one of my best videos. So that just proves I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But thank y'all for watching it and going mini viral, I would say. And I'm sorry I hadn't been putting no videos out. There's honestly been not a lot to film. It's been rainy, and I mean, like, can't do nothing rainy, or don't want to do nothing rainy, especially when you're wanting to get out and cut some hay and it rains an inch or two every day. Kind of you get bummed out and disheartening, but it's good at the same time. I'll never wish away rain, but let's save some for June and July, but so hopefully I'll start putting more videos out more consistently. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and see y'all tomorrow.